Motorists, commuters groan as petrol sells for 720 naira per litre in Abuja. Jalingo residents decry rising prices of perishable goods. Amid renewed tensions, herders calls for reactivation of grazing reserves. On the foreign scene, South Sudan peace talks risk collapse over new security law ahead of the first elections. I am Muhammad Kudu Abubakar. The Federal Capital Territory and some states of the Federation are again experiencing fuel scarcity. This has resulted in long queues at fueling stations within the metropolis, with motorists buying PMS above the official price. Chamon Dabeng reports.
Residents of the Federal Capital Territory continue to groan as another round of fuel scarcity resurfaced. The situation, which began on Friday, has also affected some states within the North Central. The incessant scarcity of PMS and the price hike that comes with it has taken a toll on the purchasing power of the average Nigerian. Several independent fueling stations across the city have been forced to close their gates, resulting in an immediate hike in the cost of fuel, as some stations now sell petrol as high as 720 naira per litre, as against the original 617 naira per litre.
And this fuel scarcity of the thing has really affected me, because at the time I left my house to work, the hours I've spent here, so those hours would have fetched me good money, but here I'm sleeping. I've even slept and woke up.
In fact, it has been terrible. I've been here since morning. I'm supposed to be in the office now. I've been here since 10 o'clock. I can check the time now. This is like almost 3 o'clock. So it's not really nice at all. And to worsen it all, it's just one fuel pump that's selling in the police station now.
Coming from Katampe down to this Otako, from inside to Junction, even Okada would like to collect 400 naira, 300 per this thing, machine. Then getting to Junction, you enter 500 to here. Through and flow, you spend like 2,000 in a day.
Even where I'm working, I'm coming from a very long distance. We have to trek some miles to cover up with, you understand, to cover just the money, you understand. So it's been a bad stuff for us.
National Deputy President of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, Zarma Mustafa, says the scarcity is as a result of disruptions in the supply chain.
There are some logistical and distribution hitches that brought about some drop in the arrival of petroleum product from the coastal depot to Abuja and other parts of the country. But with this development, I like to assure our citizens that this is just a temporary thing. Well, you know, our Nigerian roads today during rainy season is a hell. The roads are mostly bad, and it really hinders on efficiency in terms of deliverance of the product. Sometimes it takes a truck 10 days to 15 days to come. While in dry season, a truck can load within 3 days and deliver to any part of the country.
Nigerians are calling on the relevant authorities to address the regular scarcity of premium motor spirits and to put an end to the multiplier effects, such as high cost of transportation, food items, amongst others. Chamun Dabeng, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Kaswangwari in Jalingo is one of the satellite markets located in Turaki A ward of the Taraba State capital, where perishable goods are brought in from within and outside the state. Over the years, this market is reputed for selling these goods at lower prices. But this time around, the reverse seems to be the case, as both sellers and buyers from within and outside the state have been decrying the rise in prices. The report.
This market is always a beehive of activities, as some buy to resell within the market, while others buy in bulk for onward sales in other locations. The chairman, Gwari Sellers Association of Nigeria, Taraba State Branch, Abdullahi Tijani, says prices of almost all the goods have skyrocketed recently due to delayed rainfall, cost of transportation, security threats, multiple taxation, as well as the high cost of herbicide.
Sai tarugu, tumatir, albasa da makubewa.
I sell at Gwari Market. I buy in small quantity and resell so that I can take care of my daily needs. The cost of perishable commodities have dropped a bit because the rainy season has started. We hope that in the future, the prices will go down below so that people can afford it. Pepper was sold at 100,000 naira before, but now it is sold at 50,000. Although the cost of onion is yet to come down, but we are very hopeful. We want to appeal to the government to help us by ensuring that subsidies or palliatives get to the poor people. Some traders of tomatoes, onions, and pepper also admitted that delayed rainfall as well as cost of production have negatively impacted their operations, hence the need to make up through price increase. This market also provides an opportunity for many to earn a living, as some of the traders spoke to Trust TV News. The cost of vegetable has increased because of low yields from our farms. These perishable items have become scarce, so the prices have increased because demand is still high. Before, we used to get the produce from Bauchi and Yola, but because of the shortages of the rainfall, they have become scarce. But the rain has started now, so we are very hopeful of the future. The major reason for the high cost of these perishable items is cost of transportation. On the side of the customers, they don't buy as much as they normally do because of the general hardship in the country, and we hope to see things improve in the near future.
The word we want now is food stuff. All ingredients now have reduced more, but our problem now for food stuff to go down, even though small, people are dying, people are crying because of hungry.
The chairman, Jalingo Local Council, Aminu Jauro Hassan, confirmed that the new market under construction is almost 90% complete and promises to do more in order to boost economic activities across the council area.
The government came with a vision and a mission of ensuring that at least it provides all the needed dividends of democracy to the teeming populace. And as a local government chairman who is saddled responsibilities of oversight, we also deem it fit that we should key into the working modalities of His Excellency to ensure that our people are supported on the area of their trades and then businesses.
Traders as well as consumers called on relevant stakeholders to intensify efforts geared towards making the goods more accessible and affordable to Nigerians.
Troops of the 6th Brigade, Nigerian Army and Sector 3 Operation Wheel Stroke, OPWS, in Taraba State have arrested 3 suspected kidnappers and rescued 2 female victims. The Acting Director, Army Public Relations, Lieutenant Oni Olubodunde, said the Army, in collaboration with the other security agencies, raided suspected kidnappers' hideouts at Adamu Katibu Mountain in Lau local government area of the state on Monday. The arrested kidnappers, according to Lieutenant Olubodunde, were said to be members of a notorious gang operating in the area. The suspects arrested are 20-year-old Haruna Buba, Hassan Kakale, and Hussaini Kakale. The rescued victims, according to Lieutenant Olubodunde, are Hawa'u Alhaji Umaru and Asma'u Alhaji Umaru, who were abducted on the 7th of July 2024. The rescued victims were taken to Headquarters 6th Brigade in Jalingo for psychological and medical support and thereafter handed over to their families. The National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, has reunited the rescued children of Kaduna Judge Janet Gimba with their family. The judge and her 4 children were abducted when the bandits stormed their residence on June the 23rd. The bandits freed her on Sunday and demanded 150 million naira ransom for the release of her children, given a 3-day ultimatum. But in a statement on Wednesday, the judge's husband, Musa Gimba, said he was reunited with his 3 rescued children on Tuesday. He said his eldest child was killed before his wife was released. Gimba said his children were rescued after a successful conducted rescue operation by security forces. Residents of Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, have described the integration of rehabilitated terrorists in communities across the state as a development that will engender peace in the Northeast. This comes after last week's integration of 560 repentant terrorists in their communities after an oath taken at the Hajj camp in Maiduguri. According to residents, the development indicates that reconciliation and forgiveness is paramount in stabilizing peace in Borno State. While advising the repentant terrorists to be peace ambassadors and engage in socio-economic activities in their communities, the residents also appeal to communities to shun stigmatization and retaliation. They also urge the Borno State government to sustain the initiative, noting that it will convince other terrorists to surrender.
Let them partake and let them not differentiate themselves from the society. Let them be peace builders, ambassadors of peace. Let's see the changes in them based on what they have gotten in the camp. And for the government, we want them to take the implementation of the model seriously. They say when you rehabilitate one insurgent, you take 2 members of the community to rehabilitate. We want the government to implement this strategy initiative fully.
When a person commits a crime, admits their offense, and comes forward to repent, it means the person has changed. At that point, if we don't forgive, it means we haven't forgotten, and it is not good. Accepting them will encourage others to repent also. Therefore, I plead with people to embrace them because we are all victims of the insurgency.
Farmer-herders clashes have been among the major factors hindering agricultural and livestock development in Nigeria and has led to losses of lives and properties. While both parties are accusing each other of causing the clashes, herders believe that only the government has the capacity to end such clashes. Some herders in Gombe State have opined that providing them with newly created grazing reserves or restoring the known ones will be the most effective measure to address the age-long conflict. Trust TV's Hassan Koli visited a herder's hut in Akwa local government area of the state and filed this report.
Cattle rules blocked by farmers during the rainy season are among the most challenging aspects of being a herder in Gombe, especially during harvest periods. Living in the middle of farmlands in Akwa local government area, Yusuf and his elder brother were struggling to care for their animals, guarding them closely to avoid any farmland destruction. Others here in Awaru community of Akwa local government area of Gombe State said they are living in harmony with farmers around their area, and some farmers here are even allowed others to establish or to build their house inside their farms. However, the blockage of cattle roads where animals pass to search for water and grasses around the area is threatening their livelihood, as their animals are spending 3 to 5 days without water due to the roads blockade. Our paths have been encroached by farming activities. Hence, we are not able to move our animals. As a result of this, we have to stay for almost a week looking for alternative means of feeding our animals. When we try to fast, farmers will accuse us of destroying their farms. But come to think of it, it is our path they encourage on, leaving us with no alternative means of feeding our animals. In this area, there is no water, so we must go near Awaru axis or Akogari before getting any water, and along the roads, farmers have planted seeds. This is not good at all, because we are suffering from, and again, we are not violent as portrayed by many farmers or media outlets. Despite all challenges, Muhammad Bello acknowledged that they are maintaining peace with the farmers around them. Bello said that although they are not denying some accusations, they prefer staying in government-allocated grazing reserves, which he described as safer zones for them and their animals. The issue of farmer herders clashing is something easy to resolve if government wants to deal with it. We too are not enjoying moving across different states with our animals. I think there are two possible solutions. First, the government should provide specific grazing reserves for us to stay with our animals, with proper security, water and abundant grasses for our animals. And secondly, the restoration of all grazing reserves and cattle rules, which is very hard to implement, I guess. But most of us will be happy if the government provides official grazing reserves for us to stay. Some farmers who spoke to Trust TV on condition of anonymity accused traditional rulers of inciting farmer-herder clashes by collecting tokens from herders and allowing them to encroach on farmlands in their chiefdoms. Gombe State is currently achieving a milestone with no record of violent farmer-herder clashing since the year 2022. From Gombe, Hassan Koli reporting for Trust TV.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will meet with the organized labor in Abuja on Thursday to further discussions on a new national minimum wage for workers in Nigeria. A top labor source said the president invited the leadership of the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, and the Trade Union Congress, TUC, to the meeting expected to hold at the Aso Villa in the nation's capital city. President Tinubu is expected to announce a decision on the 62,000 naira proposal of the government and private sector side, as well as the 250,000 naira demand of the organized labor. The Thursday meeting is coming about a month after President Tinubu said in his Democracy Day speech on June 12 that an executive bill on the new national minimum wage for workers would soon be sent to the National Assembly. On June the 25th, the Federal Executive Council, chaired by the President, stepped down from consideration and deliberation the memo on the new national minimum wage to allow for more engagement with stakeholders. 2 days later, President Tinubu and Vice President Kashim Shettima at the 141st meeting of the National Economic Council met with governors of the 36 states of the Federation and ministers and deliberated on a national minimum wage for workers. The Deputy President of the Senate, Barrow Jibrin, has expressed optimism that President Bola Tinubu will assent to the Northwest Development Commission bill to address the challenges faced by the Northwest geopolitical zone. Senator Barrow, who sponsored the bill, stated that all is set for the transmission of the bill to the presidency for assent, as both chambers of the National Assembly have passed the bill. In a statement by his media aide, Ismail Mudassir, the Deputy Senate President said the passage of the bill by the Parliament aligns with the commitment of President Tinubu to transform the country and return it to the path of progress and prosperity. The establishment of the Northwest Development Commission is aimed at addressing the challenges facing the 7 states in the geopolitical zone and the country as a whole. Describing the Northwest as the country's food basket, Senator Barrow Jibrin noted that the Commission will work towards the restoration of infrastructure destroyed by Boko Haram insurgents and bandits in the Northwest. The National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, his wife, Hafsat, and 6 others are expected to appear before a Kano State High Court on Thursday on charges bordering on alleged bribery, as well as diversion and misappropriation of funds running into billions of naira. NNPP-led Kano State government instituted the suit before Justice Amina Adamu Aliyu. The court had on June the 5th granted leave to the applicants to serve the respondents through substituted means, which was effected on June the 6th, 2024, through advertorials in 2 national newspapers, namely the Daily Trust and The Nation. At the last adjourned date, only Noraini Jimo, SAN, represented the 6th respondent in court as counsel, while other respondents, including Dr. Ganduje, were not represented. The presiding judge, Justice Amina Adamu Aliyu, fixed July the 11th for hearing of the matter. The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Arola, on Wednesday swore in 22 judges as justices of the Court of Appeal. The move, according to stakeholders, is expected to reduce the backlog of undecided cases and strengthen the dispensation of justice in the country. The report.
Do solemnly swear that I will faithfully allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
This inauguration heralds a change in the structure of the appellate court system of Nigeria, which seems to be going through perilous times. This has resulted in an upsurge of litigations from several crimes, apart from political matters usually arising from the various election processes, calling for attention.
We are constantly on our toes, and the dockets are ever increasing in response to the challenges of the time. This underscores the fact that Nigeria is fast emerging as a frontline crime-infested country that we all have to urgently curtail. You must hastily fasten your belt and roll up your sleeves to face the challenges head on.
For someone to have been elevated and be appointed to this level of the courts, I can assure you such a person must have undergone a lot of rigorous a process, and which brings out the very best.
Of everyone else, of every sector, I think the judiciary works the hardest. They put in the longest hours, they work in the office, they work at home, they put in, unfortunately, I'm not quite sure they're appreciated enough.
Speaking on the upcoming governorship elections in Edo and Ondo states and the petitions that may rise from the polls, the CJN charged the justices to dispense justice in accordance with the dictates of the law.
It is our statutory duty to hear all matters that come before us and adjudicate according to the laws of the land. We must not falter, and we must not tread the path of infamy. Yes, it is true that we cannot please everyone through our actions and work. But with the right application of the law and the constitution of the land, which we all have collectively pledged to uphold, we can go a long way to do those things that our conscience will be very proud of.
As much of those cases has come, judges will deal with them according to the law. Some of the times, I believe the public, sometimes because they don't understand the substance of decisions rendered by our courts, so they misinterpret the decisions of the court.
With the increase in the number of the appellate court serving justices from 66 to 88, many are hopeful that cases will be decided faster and in accordance with the confidence and trust reposed on them by the members of the public. From the Supreme Court of Nigeria, Aisha Salihu reporting for Trust TV News.
The Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, is advocating a violent-free local government election in Delta State. To drive home their message, members of the council held a road show in Asaba, the state capital, calling on voters to participate actively. Jonathan Awanya completes the report.
2024, the people of Delta State will be going to the polls to elect new sets of leaders for the third tier of government. To ensure full participation of voters, the Inter-Party Advisory Council is embarking on a massive sensitization across the state. During a roadshow in Asaba, the message to voters also included abstaining from vote buying, thuggery, and all kinds of electoral malpractices.
So I want to tell Deltans that election is not do or die affair. We are one Deltans. We should come out and vote and believe in your vote. Go out and campaign. No thuggery, no violence, and all that. And we're also telling the electoral empire to be fair. to give us a free and fair elections. As I this is the body of all registered political parties in Delta State. So we are telling Deltans, come out that day and vote. Vote peacefully and go to your house and expect the result to come.
The message to government is so far so good. They should please keep up with what they are doing. They've given us a level playing ground by establishing this SEC, which is the organ that is organizing this election. And we have had several meetings as Interparty Advisory Council with this SEC, and they've assured us and they've reassured us that this election is going to be fair and fair. So what we did this morning is to go out to tell people that, look, it's going to be fair and fair. We have spoken with the organs, we have spoken with government, with the SEC and other political parties. As you're seeing, IPAC is made up of every political party, APC, PDP, and all other political parties. They are in IPAC. So we're telling people to go out and vote. We don't want violence, we don't want snatching of boxes, we don't want anything. If there's anything that comes up, please send it the right way.
We choose those who would lead the various councils, the 25 local government councils in Delta State come July 13th. And we're sensitizing our youths, our women, our elders, and everybody that, look, election ought not to be violent. We can make our choices with respect for one another. And also to make sure that, to also encourage the security operator, anybody who will be involved in such acts, both the umpire that is DSEC and other security agents, that the persons must be prosecuted because there must be consequences for wrong action.
10 political parties are billed to participate at the July 13 Delta State local government elections across the 25 local governments of the states. Jonathan Anwaya, Trust TV News, Asaba.
This is News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up after the break, stakeholders advocate stiffer penalties for gender-based violence offenders. More news when we return. Do stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the News Hour on Trust TV. Let's take a look at our top stories again. We brought to you that motorists, commuters, and grown as petrol sells for 720 naira per litre in Abuja. We also told you Jalingo residents decry rising prices of perishable goods. Moving on now, the Federal Executive Council is reviewing the Public Procurement Act to enhance more fiscal discipline. The review follows issues raised by the President on the need to reconcile the Appropriation Act, Public Procurement Law, and the Fiscal Responsibility Act. To this end, a committee under the chairmanship of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice has been set up to review the Public Procurement Act. Kehinde Amodu has the report.
Ministries, departments and agencies are being mandated to review their intended procurement as provided for in the 2024 budget. This is to identify gaps between appropriated sums and monies required to execute projects to clearly ascertain where funding is expected to come from.
Department and agencies should review their intended procurement as provided for in the appropriation, such that where there are gaps between appropriated sums and sums required to do the to execute the projects, that can be brought to the attention of both the Ministry of Budget and National Planning and Federal Ministry of Finance.
Recall that in the last 17 years, the National Council on Procurement has not really been very effective. So, Mr. President has submitted to the National Assembly a bill which in fact has scaled through the first reading at the House of Representatives. The whole idea is to ensure that we have a robust National Council of Procurement.
So even though some approvals were given to projects of some ministries, the Cabinet stepped down others.
There is a decision of the Federal Executive Council to step down some memos, especially those from the Ministry of Works, until the next Federal Executive Council meeting. Now, that idea is to re-examine especially those parts that require augmentation, or review.
The information minister is still insisting that reports of there being a concession for LGBTQ rights in an agreement between Nigeria and Samoa were misleading.
We just want to appeal. That is being taken up because we want to ensure that we give it all necessary, friendly attention before we take any further step if it fails. I hope it doesn't fail.
The cabinet has backed the information ministry's decision to seek redress by reporting the matter to the media industry's ombudsman. From State House Abuja, Kehinde Amudu, Trust TV News.
The coalition of Northern Muslim Youth Preachers says the Sultanate is a symbol of the Nigerian Muslims, which must be safeguarded by all Muslims in the country. To this end, they are calling for politicians in the north to respect the sanctity of the Caliphate as it represents Islam in the country. They made their position on the Sultanate known at a meeting in Kaduna. The report.
The relationship between the Sultanate and the state government has been sour recently over alleged power tussle between the Sultanate and the state government. The tussle began when the state announced a move to strip the Sultan of the powers to appoint and dethrone district heads. Since then, the matter has continued to generate reactions, especially within the Muslim community. In Kaduna, these young preachers met to brainstorm on the issue. They believe that the image of the Sultanate and its sanctity must be protected as it represents the symbol and unity of Muslims in the country.
The image of the Sultan of Sokoto, which is now being derogated by some authorities or trying to be derogated by some authorities, is totally rejected.
Other ulamas also expressed their displeasure with the happenings in Kano, Katsina, and now Sokoto Caliphate.
This is not particularly about Sokoto. I'm talking about entire northern governors that they are trying to attack those palaces, like what is happening now in Kano, and something came out about Katsina, and even this about Sokoto. So all in general, please, they should take out their politics out of these palaces. That is our call.
This is a very great unfortunate to the northern governors. People are suffering for what to eat, and then people cannot sleep in their houses. Many children are moving helter-skelter, no school, no education for them. Instead of them to concentrate for what can develop their side, their state, and the continent, they are playing politics. I see no benefit for them to go to the palace and trying to condemn or mitigate their powers. I see no benefit for the citizens. And touching Sultani Council to the Muslims, not only in Nigeria, even in the whole world, is a slap to our faces.
The clerics call for the sustenance of the independence of the Sultan's seat at all costs.
Most of us travel to different countries. We witness so many nations. We know developments and we know little about the leadership system. But this is playing with people intelligence. Emirate problem in Kano that we are even having 2 emirs. Even the emirs is just like they are disgracing us. We want the Sultani Council to be independent in Muslims leadership. That no politician have right to do anything on it.
Trying to call the attention of our political authorities to consider that position of the Sultan as a supreme and a high exalted position of the Muslim Ummah in this country.
Islamic preachers from different parts of the northern region who attended the meeting cautioned political leaders against ridiculing the Sultanate. At the end of the meeting, the leader of the preachers, Musa Yusuf, while reading the group's resolutions, appealed to federal government to recognize the roles of traditional rulers in the nation's constitution. Bella Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
The Jigawa state government says it is strengthening collaboration with UNICEF to enhance the health sector with special focus on child nutrition and maternal health. The State Governor Umar Namadi disclosed this when the UNICEF Nigeria country representative joined him at the groundbreaking ceremony for the construction of 30 primary health facilities across the state. The report.
Approximately 40,000 children in Jigawa State are suffering from acute malnutrition, prompting an urgent intervention by the state government in collaboration with UNICEF to prevent further deterioration. To address this, 12,404 cartons of therapeutic food have been provided for free distribution to the affected children at various health facilities throughout the state. This collaboration aims to revitalize 30 primary healthcare facilities, with one in each of the state's 30 constituencies. Governor Umar Namadi stated that the initiative would complement a similar federal government intervention under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's health agenda, which aims to provide one functional primary healthcare center in each political ward across the country.
Even as we have attained the state vision of at least one functional basic healthcare facility in each of the 287 political wards in the state, much needs to be done to strengthen the state primary healthcare program, including reinforcement of routine immunization and child's nutrition. This informed the decision to ensure that all our ward-level facilities providing primary healthcare services are repositioned to provide full complement of health services expected of them in an effective and efficient manner, including obstetric care services.
In addition, we need to address the issue of financial barrier to uptake of health services to have optimal level of health that allows for a productive population, knowing that health is wealth. The administration of Mala Umar Namadi FCA has recognized this policy and have developed the 12-point agenda with 56 commitments cutting across all sectors of development, out of which 6 have direct implication on the health sector.
Today, UNICEF is here to witness this like the first of gradually the upgrading of our primary healthcare facilities. This is not an easy task. I think that Jigawa is really setting the examples, as I formerly said. This is what all the states need to do at LGA level, at ward level.
The partnership will also explore innovations to develop local solutions for local problems, particularly in nutrition and basic health protocols.
Stakeholders in the civil society space in Osun State have called for the speedy prosecution of perpetrators of sexual and gender-based violence in the state to serve as deterrent to others. The call follows the rampant cases of abuse and violence against women, particularly girls and women with disabilities. Hamid Oyogbadi files in the report.
Despite the enactment of the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Law, women in Osun State are still experiencing sexual and gender-based violence, among them women and girls with disabilities.
Most of our women and girls in disability community, the way men are harassing them is very rampant. Because if you see some of our girls, even our women that are married, they are the husband that are using them the way that is not supposed to be. Because that is the cases that they are bringing to the community to us, that they are beating them, even rape some of our girls because of their challenges that they have. So all those men, the so-called able men, they are using that opportunity to rape them.
Because of stigmatization and the attitude of person towards person with a disability when we talk about women and children, because some people misuse, abuse them and molest them.
Girls, ladies with disability, I keep saying, we do not know how all of us will end our lives. So why must we endanger the lives of others?
The rampant cases of sexual and gender-based violence in the state warranted the setting up of a community task force to prevent the menace on one hand and ensure prompt response to women and girls with disabilities who are abused.
So one of the things that the Ministry of Justice has said they will be doing is speedy trials as far as cases of gender-based violence is concerned. So I believe that when that happens, it's going to support and ensure that there's justice for survivors beyond women and girls with disabilities, but survivors in general.
We want to assure the members of the public that no of such heinous crime will be swept under the carpet. We are really working seriously on it, and many has been, arraigned at the court of law concerning this kind of crimes and criminal activities. It will never be swept under carpet.
Stakeholders in the state, including traditional rulers, law enforcement agents, community leaders, and members of the civil society groups pledged support for the initiative to curb sexual and gender-based violence in the state. Amid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Shobo.
Ogun State Governor Dakpo Abiodun has handed out the contractor handling the construction of Denro Ishashi Akute Road a 2-week ultimatum to complete the project. Governor Abiodun gave the ultimatum while on an inspection of the ongoing reconstruction of the network of arterial roads in Akute, Alagbole, and Denro, among others. Trust TV's Abbas Dalibi reports.
The governor also disclosed that work will begin on the Alagbole Ajoun and Akute Ajoun Road in Ifo local government area of the state. The governor, accompanied by members of the state executive councils, a member of the state house of assembly, and the chairman Ifo local government, were welcomed by a crowd of supporters and residents during the inspection. At a very point, the governor was briefed by the State Commissioner for Works and Infrastructure, apparently expressing their grievances and concern over the deplorable road. Some of the residents of the areas visited asked the governor to ensure speedy completion of the ongoing road, which they said have affected the living and socio-economic development of the area.
The road network in Ifo local government is in very deplorable state, and we want the government to really fix all our road. This is a very great opportunity for him to come himself, to have a first-hand, background of what has been done so far. He has visited about 3 to 4 different places, and he has the right to now, make an informed decision on what to do. The people are really suffering, and the effect is, if we can do this road, it will impact positively on the socio-economic activity of the environment.
You see this place here, I'm telling you, when it rains, oh my God, you can't go through this place. You see, those that are coming from this other end will have to stop. Those that are coming from this way, they will stop. Even those that are walking with their legs, you can't even cross with your leg. So I would really like it if the government will come here and then do something about this place so that the water can flow out very well. So people that are coming from this side can go, and those that are coming from this side can also cross very canal. So, and it has carried some people, actually, like children coming back from school, because I work here, so it has carried little children this water. Some will make it, some will die. So it has happened a lot of times. So if they can do something about it, it will be better, really.
Responding, the governor asked for the cooperation and understanding from residents as his administration takes proactive steps to bridge critical infrastructure deficits in the area.
At Wednesday's Senate plenary, senators mourned the passing of Honorable Olaide Odewale Akinremi, a member of the House of Representatives. The All Progressives Congress APC lawmaker who represented Ibadan North Federal Constituency of Oyo State died in the early hours of Wednesday after a brief illness. He was 52 years old. Trust TV's Senate correspondent Sagir Ibrahim has details.
Prior to the suspension of legislative activities, Senate leader Senator Kwemi Bamidele had informed his colleagues that the Senate received communication from the House of Representatives notifying them of Honorable Akinremi's passing. After observing a minute of silence in honor of the deceased lawmaker, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, adjourned plenary to Thursday, July 11th, 2024.
I'd like to announce notification of the demise of a member of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Olaide Akinremi Jagaban, member representing Ibadan North Federal Constituency of Oyo State in the House of Representatives. Honorable Akinremi's sudden demise occurred at the early hours of today, Wednesday, 10th July 2024, after a very brief illness. On behalf of the Senate, we condole with the family, the Speaker, and members of the House of Representatives. Currently, the Senate is hereby adjourned to Thursday, the 11th day of July, 2024.
Also, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, conveyed his deep sorrow over Akinremi's death.
You're still watching News Hour on Trust TV. We will be back shortly. Welcome back. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, says Nigeria's average daily crude oil production increased to 1.27 million barrels per day in June. In its monthly oil market report released on Wednesday, the oil cartel said the production data was based on direct communication with the Nigerian authorities. OPEC receives data on crude oil production from two sources, namely direct communication, which is from member countries, and secondary communication, such as energy intelligence platforms. According to the intergovernmental body, the current output figure represents 1.57% rise from the 1.25 million barrels per day recorded in May. Due to the current production figure, OPEC said Nigeria retained its position as the biggest oil producer in Africa, surpassing Angola, which produced 906,000 million barrels in June, with 259 million barrels in June. Congo ranked third among the biggest oil producers in Africa, according to OPEC. Nigeria and Brazil have agreed to jointly harness opportunities in climate action and green industrial spheres. The resolutions were reached on Tuesday as Nigeria's special presidential envoy on climate action, Ajuri Ngelale, met with the Brazilian head of embassy, João Soares, in his office at the State House, Abuja. Both countries agreed to stand as critically important allies in the global south, as the most populous nations in Africa and South America. The special presidential envoy also hosted the global CEO of a multinational corporation that plans to construct a full end-to-end cooking stove manufacturing facility in Ogun State. The new facility is an upgrade to the corporation's assembly-only plant in Kano State. This is in line with the government's resolve to support companies with clean finance incentives to empower Nigerians to create sustainable solutions for tomorrow. On the foreign scene, South Sudan peace talks that almost reached completion faced a stumbling block, with the opposition groups demanding a newly passed bill allowing the detention of people without an arrest warrant scratched in order to sign a proposed agreement. Kenya has been hosting high-level meetings since May between government representatives and rebel opposition groups who are not part of a 2018 agreement that ended a 5-year civil war, leaving about 400,000 people dead and millions displaced. Despite the agreement, violence often erupted in the country of 9 million people. Pagan Amun Oke, negotiating on behalf of the South Sudan Opposition Movement Alliance, said on Tuesday night that it will be meaningless to sign any agreement if the draconian National Security Act is signed into law by the South Sudanese president. Last week, Parliament voted in favor of the 2015 bill, with President Salva Kiir expected to approve it within 30 days for it to become law. This comes ahead of the country's first ever election and scheduled for December the 22nd. Time now to join Emmanuel Fashemi with the latest in sports.
The Super Falcons will lead a Nigerian contingent of 87 athletes billed to compete in 12 sports at the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. The Sports Ministry confirmed a breakdown of the country's flag bearers at the Olympics, which will get underway with the Super Falcons opening Group C game against South American champions Brazil on July 25th in Bordeaux. The breakdown is as follows. The Super Falcons has 35 athletes, women's basketball 12, wrestling 6 athletes, table tennis 4 athletes, boxing 3 athletes, canoeing 2 athletes, aquatics 2 athletes, and cycling 1 athlete. The athletes are currently on foreign training tours, with the Super Falcons finalizing their preparation in Sevilla, Spain. The country will also feature in 4 sports at the Paralympics. The Minister of Sports Development, John Awaneno, said the contingent has received the full support of the federal government to fly high in Paris. Meanwhile, coach Randy Waldron has called up Ifeoma Onumonu to replace injured Halimatu Anyide, who was among the 18 players invited for the Olympic Games, while Onumonu was listed as an alternate player. However, Halimatu Anyide suffered a knee injury during training at her club, which has ruled her out for 8 weeks. Ifeoma Onumonu is expected to join the rest of the squad at their training camp in Sevilla, Spain, as the team finalized preparation for the Summer Olympics. The 9-time African champions will be making an appearance at the Football Olympics after 16 years of absence. The International Table Tennis Federation (ITTF) has praised Nigerian table tennis veterans Funke Oshonaike and Segun Toriola for being among players that will grace the Olympics for a record 7 times. They were praised alongside Jean-Michel Seri, Belgium, Georgian Pessin, Sweden, Zoran Primorac, Croatia, for their 7 appearances each at the Olympic Games. In a statement, the ITTF was quoted as, "These aren't your average Olympians, they are the table tennis titans who have defied age, competition, and the odds to compete a staggering 7 times on the grandest sporting stage. 7 Olympic appearances is a testament to an athlete's unwavering dedication, exceptional talent." The ITTF noted that the players have dedicated years of relentless training, honing their skills to compete at the highest level. It added that as true trailblazer, Oshonaike isn't just the only woman in Club 7, as she is also the first African female player ever to achieve this feat. ITTF maintained her unwavering determination and fierce spirit have not only seen her represent Nigeria at every Olympics since Atlanta 1996, but also inspired countless young athletes across the continent. On the other hand, the body described Toriola as one who is not just a phenomenal player, but a history maker, as he was the first African to reach the men's singles quarterfinals at the Olympics in Beijing 2008, solidifying his place as a Nigerian sporting legend. Oshonaike, the only female in the Club 7, featured at the Olympic in 1996, 2000, 2004, 2008, 2012, and 2020, while Toriola featured at the Olympic Games in 1992, 1996, 2000, 2004, 2008, 2012, and 2016. And that is sports. I am Emmanuel Fashimi.
And that concludes News Hour on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentary. I'm Muhammad Kuda Abubakar. Thank you for watching.